My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Upgrade your business with Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning fewer carts going abandoned and more sales going cha-ching. So if you're into growing your business, get a commerce platform that's ready to sell wherever your customers are. Visit shopify.com to upgrade your selling today.
This podcast is part of E2C Network, where we share the whole Auburn experience.
War Eagle Auburn fans, welcome to No Huddle, your source for Auburn football news and discussion, part of the E2C Network. I'm AJ Richardson, and I'm also here with Jared Davis. It was a rough one, tough. As an Auburn fan, it punched you in the gut. I think us as Auburn fans thought potentially we could be 5-0 at this point, and yet we're now 2-3 with losses against Cal, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. And arguably, you turn the ball over a little bit less in each of these games, and you could be legitimately that 5-0, and that I think is what hurting, because you're seeing some improvement from offense, you're seeing improvement on defense, minus a few deep ball threats that we saw against Oklahoma, but it still hurts because I'm like Jared, and I'll let Jared speak for himself too, but like it just feels like Auburn keeps finding a different way to lose a game, and that hurts. Like that's a potentially a team issue. It's potentially a coach issue. Just like they can't do it. So let's go, Jared. Let's start kind of there. Let's talk about the loss and what that does to the team itself.
Man, this one hurt. I mean, there was a moment, well, really a long moment in that game where I thought I haven't felt this way in 5 years. We were in control. I was like, this is how it should feel at Jordan Hare. We were in control of the game. We were dominating. Every phase was working. And I had a little slight nervousness just because we haven't won a lot lately. But I was like, I don't know how we screw this up as the minutes started ticking away. That was silly to think that. I mean, I looked at my wife. She doesn't know a lot about sports, but she was into the game, and I said, the only way they win this game is if we give up big plays. I'm like, if we literally just make them move down the field, there's not enough time. They're not going to do it. And they immediately hit us with a 60-yard pass, and then we throw the pick six. And I'm like, that's like there had to have been, I didn't look at the ESPN, whatever their chance, they had to be over 95% chance we win that game.
Yeah. Oh, it was, I was looking, it was around like 92-93% with about 5 minutes to go. And that's, a couple minutes before that interception.
I mean, there were, if you remember, AJ, in Harson's first year, there were 4 games we were 99% projected to win the game and lost them all. Yeah. And it's just like, how much more can you take, man? I mean, I know it's just football, but
it's like, I mean, at some point, like statistically, you should be winning these games. Like, I want to go back to, like, I kept asking myself this question: is this team as bad as like the 2008 or 2012 teams that were like really bad, right? Like there was nothing like going for those teams, and I keep coming back to this team is way better than either of those teams. We actually have, like, if you're talking about yards, we had almost 500 yards against an Oklahoma defense that, people were talking a lot about. That's pretty good. Our defense held Oklahoma to under 300 yards, 281 to be specific. That's pretty solid. Now, the thing that hurt Auburn was not punching it in the first half at the goal line at the 1. missing a 27-yard field goal. I mean, that's 10 points already that you're just leaving out there. And then on top of that, you have the pick six at the end of the game. And kind of all of those play into, again, Auburn had their chances and just couldn't finish the game. Like I keep coming back to, they had opportunities. Peyton Thorne had 2 opportunities to come back and win this game for us. And yet here we are. He finishes getting sacked deep, and the game's just over, pretty much. And it's like, well, that just felt like every other game that I've been to that's like this, and it's tight, and it's like, that sucks. Like, that really sucks. And it gets me to the point of, like, how does the team feel about this? Like, you have to, if you're a player, like I was thankfully when I was in high school on a pretty winning team in high school, and you could feel the winning, momentum of the team. And when you have tough losses, they hurt you. But if you have a winning culture, you'll keep coming back and winning games. I think that's the part that hurts me, because Auburn recently has not had winning seasons, and to some extent the players don't have that culture around them as much as Hugh's been working on that to get them back. I don't know. I'm kind of ranting here, but my point is you have to do something to change up that losing mentality of, even if you're up, you're going to lose the game, because that's just going to keep coming back to bite you in the butt, because the team has that little doubt in the back of their mind. And if you have doubt in the back of your mind in football, something bad's going to happen. That's just what's going to happen. So you got to be confident. And this team definitely in the stretch at the end of this game did not look confident. Jared, any other comments about all the things that I just ranted about?
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Upgrade your business with Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning fewer carts going abandoned and more sales going cha-ching. So if you're into growing your business, get a commerce platform that's ready to sell wherever your customers are. Visit Shopify.com to upgrade your selling today.
I think you covered a whole year podcast there. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I mean, you got to have, and this is nothing against any player, right? Like, I don't really bash players. I just state what they are. I think they're doing their best. I think they generally are going out there and giving it their best. I thought Peyton Thorne played a heck of a game for 3/4 of the game. But we know who Peyton Thorne is. Peyton Thorne, when pressured and has to make a decision, has a potential to not make the smart decision.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand why we put him in that situation at the end. And I don't understand Hugh Freeze on the second to last possession. Apparently he was not pleased with Thorne passing on 2 RPOs back to back.
Oh, I looked at the side. I was like right on I was looking down, and Hugh Freeze, I don't know if they showed it on TV, was like lighting into Peyton Thorne after both of those. He was like, AJ, why are you passing it?
We have a headset. We have headsets.
Mm-hmm.
Holler in his ear, hand the ball off, or don't call an RPO.
Or yell it across the field. I mean, let's be honest. Oklahoma knows it's coming, but like, just run the ball.
I really think Hugh is just overconfident in Thorne's decision making, and it's like, how many? And nothing against Thorne. Look, Thorne, if you're listening, I think you're giving it your best. But when somebody shows you who they are, you got to believe them. And so you need to take. Thorne was playing above himself yesterday. He put us in that chance to have the victory. He got us to that point. Coaches should have taken over at that point and said, "Thank you. You got us here. Great job. We'll take it from here. We're going to run this ball and get out of here with a win." And
right. Well, especially if you have Jarquez, who just knocked off a 22-yard run.
He is gashing them. I got a buddy of mine who's a Georgia fan. He's texting me. He's like, he doesn't even know who 27 is. He's like, that guy, he's like, just keep handing him the rock. Like, they can't stop him.
Yeah.
And we immediately throw. And here's another thing, man. Like, there were probably 4 to 5 really good plays left out on the field because the receiver and the quarterback are not. Like, I think we're giving them too much to think about. I mean,
well, I'm starting to think the same thing because they'll talk about, hey, you have this option if they're in zone or if they're in man or if they're playing off, and you're like, that's a lot to be thinking about. And for it's almost like I'm thinking about you have a wife, I have a wife. It's like the miscommunications that just happen in marriage, and it's even if like I say, hey, I'm gonna go do this, and she may have heard that, she may not have. It's the vice versa thing, and two people have to be on the exact same page. Like, hey, I'm going to go pick up the kids after, at school or whatever. Cool. As long as both of you understand somebody's going to do it, right? But if one person doesn't hear that, the kid's going to be at school and you're going to get a call, both people have to be on the same.
They do. And I'm sitting there like, on that, one of those RPOs, KLS runs a deep route. He runs a hitch and go. And Thorne's throwing a 3-yard out route. And then the one that's killer, man, and I do think it probably was on Coleman. Coleman runs a post, and he should have run a seam, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
He should have kept going straight. If he goes straight, that's a touchdown.
Yeah. And Peyton threw to the spot that if he had
I think Coleman
that,
probably messed that up. Yeah, I think Coleman. Yeah.
He's a freshman. Like, I give him the benefit of the doubt on that play.
But again, this all, to me, comes back to coaching. Like, you have to be seeing this in practice, right? They're not getting it perfect in practice, and then I just can't believe that. Why are we not dumbing it down some? I don't know. I'm going to go on a rant, but like, put your players in position. Even if you got to watch pro football. They'll see something. They'll motion out to the receiver, just a little flick of the finger, something that lets them know, hey, we're on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
You're running this route because we see what the defense is doing.
Yep.
You got to do something. You got to make sure you're on the same page.
Well, and I'll give them credit. So this was the drive. I think it was like within about a minute, and we were actually driving the ball a little bit. And Peyton did this. He signaled to who was it? Raldo Fairweather, who caught like 2 really big first down catches to like keep that drive going in the last minute of the game, and gave us a chance to win. And he said, run this route. Like, he literally like yelled at him. I mean, it was probably the most obvious thing, but he was open, got the first down, did it again, same thing. And it's like, cool, do that more. Like, I appreciate that you did that.
I think Peyton is probably right most of the time. I think Peyton's actually a smart guy. I think when things start going south.
Yeah. Well, it's like
I think he lets the pressure
snowball
get to
effect.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would let the pressure get to me. I mean, if you got people Venmoing you to give your money back, I mean, I don't know how you go out there. I don't even know how you go out there and play. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I commend the guy. Yeah. And listen, I texted my friends when he fumbled that ball, which I still would want that reviewed, but when he fumbled it, dude, nobody on our team went after it, and he did. He gave up his body.
Yeah.
I mean, Peyton Thorne gave it his all that game. I'm not even mad at you if you're listening. We should have taken it. The responsibility should not have been on you on that 3rd and 4.
Yeah.
We should have ran the ball.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what, that whole possession right there kind of shows you is sometimes you just have to literally look over to the coach and say, what do you want me to do? Hand the ball off? Cool. I can do that, right? Or, since we got helmet communication, just tell him, dude.
Just tell him in the helmet.
Tell him.
I can't. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm about to lose it. Okay.
So
bring me back some joy here, AJ. Tell me some good things.
Well, I mean, overall, again, statistically, I think our team is doing pretty dang good. Like, if you're looking at stats only, and you forget about usually turnovers. Okay, I'll give you a couple stats. I think Justin Ferguson tweeted this one out. Against Power 5 opponents this season, Auburn is ranking 25th. That's not bad. Like, you're averaging about 6.2 yards per play. And then he said, and this is where, again, the disconnect, like I keep coming back to the question of what is the disconnect, because we're seeing offense is scoring. Auburn is 82nd in scoring offense against Power 5 or Power Conference opponents, and only are averaging about 16 points per game. And that's the difference. You're getting yards, but you're not getting points. And I saw some creativity a couple times with trying to change things up. For example, Wildcat quarterback with Sam Jackson. Again, in theory, I like it. But guess what? Football is not theory. Football is put a helmet on a helmet, make a play. And sometimes you just got to push it in, right? Like, we're 4th and 1, and you're telling me either Peyton Thorne can't run it in or hand the ball off to Jarquez, and Jarquez can't get it in the end zone. I'd question that, right? Like, it's 1 yard. It's not that far away.
Yeah, I'm like, you bring Sam Jackson in because he used to be a quarterback. So to me, you utilize that aspect. You do like the Tim Tebow jump. Like, everybody bites on him rolling.
Oh, yeah.
You sneak a tight end out, and he makes a nice pass to the top. That's why you bring him in. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, put Cam Coleman back there. He's a big body. I don't know. Put Perry Thompson. Put somebody, like, nothing against Sam Jackson, but he's not a big dude. Like, put a big guy back. Put Fairweather that can, okay, if he gets hit, he might fall forward. We only needed a yard.
Yeah.
It's so easy to armchair coach, man, but I think sometimes they get too cute. Not just, I'm watching NFL. They do it too. It's not just, for example, today or Sunday, the Falcons, they needed 10 yards to get in field goal range. Mm-hmm. They run 3 deep patterns, get none of them, and their kicker had to kick it, further than he's ever kicked it. He made it. But I'm sitting here watching. I'm like, this is an NFL coach.
Yeah.
And they're not playing smart football.
Yeah. That's
like, I don't understand it. I think they get too cute.
Yeah. I mean, there is a element, especially college football, but you're seeing it obviously in NFL. But like in college football, like, hey, these guys are, you throw occasional some trickeration type plays, right? But when the game's on the line, I'd much rather you like just play football. Like, don't do a little fake flea flicker, whatever it is. I don't care. Just run the ball or give them an easy pass. Because guess what? Auburn, again, offensively, didn't look that bad minus the pick 6. We just couldn't push in the end zone when we needed to and left too many points on the board. And here we are, and we're 2-3. So before we get into any specific players, I want to just take maybe a step back. All right, we're 2-3. In some ways, I felt, even my brother was like, this is a bowl game. Like, we're playing for a bowl game is what I meant to say. And if we win this game, we're 3-2, and you have a path to winning probably 7 games this season. Now we're 2-3. And we haven't beaten a power conference team. And I'm looking at the schedule ahead. It's not looking so great. I mean, we got Georgia next week, at Missouri too, at Kentucky. Then we come back, play Vandy, and even at that point, I hope we win. But you never know. Louisiana Monroe, so maybe 2 more wins. Texas A&M, depending on where they're at the end of the season, maybe a win at home against them. You go to Tuscaloosa for Bama, probably lose that game. So maybe you're looking at like 3 more wins. And if you somehow shock, which again, like I don't want to be the sunshine pumper, but like you were that close to beating a ranked Oklahoma team. I mean, who's to say we couldn't necessarily do that against at Kentucky or something? I think it's possible, but you have to put the full game together. I mean, it's 60 minutes for a reason. Like, it's big boy football out there. You can't just stop playing and give up big plays at the end of the game, because that's how you lose a game. Obviously, we just saw it happen. So, I guess, Jared, my question for you: how are you feeling? Like, legitimately, where are you seeing the record kind of sitting at this point?
If you told me I had to put my house on the line, 4 wins. If you told me what I possibly see a path to, I could see 6. I mean, I think, like you made some good points. I mean, we're putting up yards. We got to get scores, right? I thought that the game plan was great. I thought I have done a lot of bashing. I thought there were some plays early on that we were not seeing in the prior games. And I thought that they changed the game plan. They ran some option with Thorne. We haven't seen that.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, so I thought they did make adjustments. kudos to them. We put up a ton of yards. So I'll get back to the point. So I think we do, unless the team quits, and there's no sign of that yet. I think we do beat Vandy. I think we do beat Louisiana Monroe. I realize Vandy's no gimme, but I think we win those. That's the four that I really would be like, all right, I'm pretty confident. I think we probably beat A&M. I don't think they're great. I know we're not either. I just feel like we're going to get that win probably too, but I wouldn't bet. So that gives us 5. I feel most confident about Missouri. We're not beating Georgia.
Really?
Yeah, we're not beating Georgia.
Even over Kentucky?
Yeah, I watched Kentucky play Ole Miss, man, and Kentucky's defense is nasty. I mean, they don't miss tackles, they don't miss assignments. I see several turnovers with us to them. I'm not saying now the counter of that is they can't score. I mean, their offense is very bad. It will be very low scoring. If McPherson's back by then, maybe I change my tune. That's going to be a field goal game. I've seen Missouri. I'm not sold on Missouri. They have a good run. They have a good receiver. They have a good quarterback. I think our defense is good enough to nullify that enough to where we can win that ball game. So if you're asking me what is the most improbable win we get, because nobody thinks we're going to win these next 3, I choose Missouri as the most likely from what I've seen. And if we steal that,
I'm going to go Kentucky.
I'm not trying to change your opinion, but did you get to see them play Ole Miss?
I mean, I watched most of the second half because they were showing it in Jersey here when I was. Yeah. Okay. So I mean, I get it. Like, I think they are good. They played well against Ole Miss, but I just, and obviously they held it tight against Georgia. I just think we can do it.
No, you're good. I didn't know if you saw them. I don't know if you saw them. If you saw them and that's your opinion, fine. I don't want to change that. I just think that Missouri is not as good on defense. They are probably a little better on offense. But, I mean, Missouri struggled at home with 2 weeks ago somebody they shouldn't have. And they won the game because teams do that, but Auburn. But I just feel like that. So let's say we steal one of those 3. If we steal one of the next 3, I think we make a bowl game. So the question is, do we steal one of the next 3?
I give us a chance. Again, like if we – I'm just saying Georgia last week against Bama played – obviously, it was a tough game back at, Georgia fought back. But if Auburn can do something like Bama did and just get in the head of Beck, I mean, Beck had 4 interceptions. I'm not saying that we win that game, but I think that helps your team build that momentum to go into Missouri and Kentucky where I think you have shots at either of those games. I don't know which one you win, but I think there's a decent likelihood you win one of those. And again, that leads us to potentially a 6-win season if you play really well in your remaining games. Let's go over to some of the other things that I was wanted to talk about. Offensively, again, putting up almost 500 yards of offense like that's phenomenal. Love that. But you got to put the ball in the end zone. Doesn't matter. You have to do it, and we're still struggling there. We did, which I like this. This was at the beginning of the fourth quarter. We did a tush push, which you and I have been talking about where's the quarterback sneak. Like, quarterback sneak can be very effective, and we did it, and we got the yard that we needed. So props to them. Hope we get to do that again because that seemed to work really well. And it works well in the NFL too. A couple other things. My goodness. Cam Coleman, thank goodness he looked like he was back, like minus that one route that he looked like he ran the wrong way. But he had a great deep ball catch, 50-50 ball. Also, I don't know if anybody's giving him credit for this, but I'm going to give him credit. The pick six, Cam Coleman, it reminded me of, like, I don't remember who it was in the NFL. It was a wide receiver on a pick six, ran, like, caught up and almost, like in the NFL, he did it. He actually caught up to the guy and tackled him. But like Cam Coleman, he played his heart out trying to tackle that dude on the pick six. Almost got there. So I wanted to give him a little props for that hustle because he looked like the only other guy besides the linemen, and the linemen weren't going to catch that guy. Give him that effort. A couple other things, just kind of our games. Just finish this out. Our score prediction game. I ended up taking the lead for the first time. I think in the score prediction, I'm up by 6 points in the score prediction game. I had Oklahoma winning by 3. And obviously, like, we ended up barely losing this by 6. So, and then Jared had us winning. So, gives me a little bit of a lead. And then top offensive threats, again, who scores the most, score update there. I even it up. KLS has been my man the last 2 weeks and helped me get back up. Though I will say, Jarquez, if we were going based on impact in the game, Jarquez is very, very solid, and that's who Jared ended up picking.
I feel like you're bragging a little bit. I felt a little pep in your voice there.
I mean, hey, when we're at this point in the season, and I'll take any small wins that I can get, because Auburn isn't giving me many of them to root for. So
I hear you. I'm messing with you, man.
Yeah. All right. One other thing, special teams. I mean, Keontae did his job. He had a couple punt returns, 2 yards and a 10-yarder. He was catching the ball well, and that was very encouraging for me. I was very much down on him a couple weeks ago against Arkansas, but he did his job. And then I do have we do have to talk about it, the kicker. And Towns McGill, I'll give him credit. He's only missed 1 field goal all season. If I remember right, it was like a 45-50 yarder or something like that. And he obviously missed that 27-yarder twice, and then missed the 51-yarder. 51-yarder, forgivable, especially as a freshman. 27 yards, you miss it twice. That's tough. Not to say that helps us win, but at that point, if you make the field goal, it's a big difference. Like, I think you feel the momentum heading into, particularly at halftime. And yet here we are, and we didn't get it. So, big bummer there. Anything else, Jared, that you want to talk about? Because, I mean, I'm, again, at somewhat loss of words of how to explain this, other than I'm seeing improvement, but the wins are just not coming. And that's SEC football. It's tough. That's just what's boggling my mind. Like, I'm seeing improvement, and yet here we are. Again, another loss in Jordan-Hare, where I legitimately think we should not be losing. And now we go to away games, and for the whole month of October, which that's tough. It's tough sledding to get such a good 5-game home streak, in my opinion, and you come out 2-3. Any other thoughts, Jared, before we get out of here?
No. I think we've pretty much covered everything that needs to be covered, my friend.
Yeah. How can people stay in touch with you, Jared?
You can find me on Facebook under my name, Jared Davis.
Awesome. And you can find me on X at AJAY, JAY_. It's always great to be an Auburn Tiger and War Eagle.
War Eagle.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode on the E2C Network. On your way out, I want to remind you to stop by e2cnetwork.com. It's your one-stop shop for all our content across our podcast, YouTube channel, and much more. To stay up to date with us, make sure you're following social media accounts such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. While our content here may always be Auburn sports heavy, if it's orange and blue, it's what we do. War Eagle.